COVID hit us and it hit us all really hard. And it's hit all of us in a little bit different way. There's been a lot of loss this year. There's been some good times. There's been a lot of bad times. There's been some opportunities, and I think some opportunities for people with multiple sclerosis as well. One of those opportunities is that finally physicians are realizing that there are more ways of communicating with their patients than just waiting for them to come to the office and make them wait for long lines in the waiting room and finally see them. And one of those opportunities is telemedicine. And before, some physicians were hesitant about it. Some of that had to do with, frankly, payment structure. Other ones had to do with their concerns about privacy and just not fully understanding the technology. But what telemedicine allows now, in a way, it's sort of like the old ways that doctors used to come to your house and do house calls, where we actually used to get to see the inside of your houses. So there is some of that as well. I know sometimes people don't love that part, and you feel like you have to clean up before a telemedicine visit. But it also does allow the physician to maybe interact with more people than just you or your care partner. Maybe your child is running by. Maybe your uncle's there. Maybe your pet dog is there. There's other people, and there's greater potential for interaction that can happen. Now, with that said, there are some problems with telemedicine. The first problem that's clear to see is you're not seeing a person in person, like you're seeing them from far away, which means that we're not laying our hands on you. We can't do a physical examination. Our neurologic examinations are in no way comparable to what we can do in the real life. It also means that you sometimes may even feel more rushed than you felt at your doctor's office, because it may feel like, well, you're waiting for a while, finally they connect to you, you feel this rush, like I have to talk very fast, and oh my God, I forgot something, and you hang up. And it's not like when you're still in the office and there's one last thing you want to tell the doctor, and you can tell the receptionist to bring them back out and wait to do that. You've already hung up at that point. And so it means that you, in some ways, have to be more prepared for the telemedicine visit. And so what does that mean? Well, let's go back to the principles we've been talking about for years. Write things down. Writing things down is useful in many ways. There's very interesting research that actually, more than even typing or using your fingers to keystroke on a smartphone, actually writing, because you're forming letters, helps you remember what you were writing down, but they also help you interact with it and be able to have that list of what you want to talk about. I think you should see your office visit as your office visit, which means that you should come prepared for it. If you were going to go talk to a lawyer or an accountant, wouldn't you come prepared? When it's tax time, don't you bring all the tax receipts to the accountant if you have one? Well, for the doctor, don't just walk in and just say, okay, what do you want to ask me? You should have an agenda of what you want to ask them. Sure, they have their questions, but your questions are equally or probably more important than their questions.